600 books. It was the impact of his political conception on the emerging political Polish opposition to the imposed communist regime. Almost all serious Polish opposition groups to emerge since the 1960s and in the 1970s and 1980s not only accepted the Giereczny-Mieroszewski strategic program for Poland, but also for Ukraine, Belarus, and Lithuania. I will not enumerate all them because for this audience it is certainly not necessary because it is well acquainted with the individual groups. However, I should say that during my many travels, academic travels to Poland, I had been in contact with these groups, and I can attest to this connection. Also, I would like to add in the something which was already mentioned by Professor Sisson, that even that Polish officially approved historiography of that period was in general, and even with regard to such politically sensitive issues as Ukraine, definitely on a much higher level, both methodologically and in antiquarian terms, than Soviet historiography. In the 1970s and 80s, it was ranked quite high by knowledgeable historians as the fifth after American, French, German, and British. And in spite of effective Soviet ideological surveillance, there existed various schools of thought in Polish historiography, to which I can attest as a coordinator of 3 conferences of Polish and American historians. Poland was the only country in the Soviet bloc, aside from the Soviet Union, in which some forms of Ukrainian studies existed, and a group of serious professional historians worked on approved historical topics. Even authors of the notoriously political books, written, for instance, by security officials, like Droga Donikąd. I was asked by Dr. Naimski about this book last night, written by Szczesniak and Szota, and the scandalous writings of Bolesław Prus provided factual material which was not mentioned in Soviet Ukrainian or Soviet historiography in general at that time. Especially Droga Donikąd, which dealt with the military struggle against the Ukrainian insurgent army, became a great hit in the Ukrainian diaspora by being published in a pirated edition by one of the UPA veteran association and sold in 3,000 copies in the diaspora. In Poland, several weeks after its publication, it was taken off the shelves upon intervention of Soviet authorities. Poland was the only communist country which allowed a Catholic university to function as an institution in the system of higher education. Its Institute of East Central Europe, under the directorship of Jerzy Kłoczowski, together with the foundation of Pope John Paul II and the Lipiński East European Research Institute, as well as Belarusian and Lithuanian Diaspora Institution, organized the first historical scholarly conference, Belarus, Lithuania, Poland, Ukraine, the formation of historical and cultural traditions in East Central Europe, in early May of 1990, in which prominent Ukrainian scholars from Ukraine participated before the official proclamation of Ukrainian sovereignty in July of the same year, and independence